Jorinda and Jorindel. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful maiden named Jorinda and her beloved Jorindel. They were deeply in love and often walked together in the forest. But near the forest lived an old fairy witch who could transform herself into an owl or a cat. She hated when young lovers came near her enchanted castle. Anyone who came too close would be frozen, and the maidens would be turned into birds and locked in cages. One evening, Jorinda and Jorindel wandered too close. The sun was setting, and suddenly Jorinda was turned into a nightingale, while Jorindel was frozen in place. The witch took the nightingale away and left Jorindel sorrowful and helpless. After the spell wore off, Jorindel searched everywhere for his lost love. He worked as a shepherd for years, always dreaming of rescuing her. One night, he dreamed of a magical flower with a dewdrop center that could break any spell. When he woke, he searched until he found the flower, then went to the witch's castle. Using the flower, he unlocked the doors, broke the witch's spells, and turned Jorinda and the other maidens back into humans. Jorindel and Jorinda lived happily ever after. Moral of the story: true love is patient and enduring. Courage and determination can overcome even dark magic.
The Honest Woodcutter. A long time ago, there was a poor woodcutter living in a small village. He did his job well and was honest and loyal. He headed to the nearby forest every morning to cut the trees down, then gather the wood he cut and take it to the village to sell and earn money. He hardly earned a living, but was content with simple blessings. One day, when he was cutting the trees near the river, his axe fell from his hand into the river. The woodcutter searched for the axe in the water but couldn't find it. He didn't have another axe, so he burst into tears because he would not be able to work anymore. A genie appeared while he was crying and asked, "Why are you crying?" "My axe disappeared in the river, and I don't have another one, and I can't work without it," said the woodcutter. "Don't worry, I'll help you find it," said the genie. The genie dove into the river and came out holding a golden axe. "Is this your axe?" he asked the woodcutter. "No, my axe is made of steel," replied the woodcutter. So the genie disappeared and quickly returned with a silver axe. The woodcutter once again denied the axe was his and said, "My axe is made of steel." The genie dove into the river again and quickly showed up holding the woodcutter's steel axe. "Is this your axe?" he again inquired. "Yes, that's my axe," replied the woodcutter. The woodcutter was happy, and he thanked the genie for lending him a hand. "Why didn't you take the golden or silver axes when I offered them to you?" asked the genie. "Because they're not mine, and perhaps someone else lost them," said the woodcutter. The genie was touched with the woodcutter's honesty and offered him the golden and silver axes in appreciation of his honesty, for loyalty and honesty attract blessings. The Lion and the Smart Rabbit. Once upon a time, a lion was bored of hunting and chasing animals to catch his prey when hungry. So he called all the animals and issued an order. "Every day, one of you must come to be my prey." All the animals were afraid, so they held a meeting and decided the rabbit should go first, because he was the smallest and weakest among them. The rabbit was terrified. On his way to the lion's den, he came across an old well. He looked into the well, which was deep and dangerous. The rabbit made a sound, and it echoed back, so he had an idea to save himself from the lion. The lion was angry because none of the animals had come yet. The rabbit approached slowly and scared. The lion roared and said, "Why are you late?" On my way here, Your Majesty, another lion chased me. I barely ran away from him, so I can sacrifice my life to you, my king," replied the terrified rabbit. The lion was pleased with the rabbit, but the thought of another lion in the forest made him angry. The lion roared, "Do you know where that lion lives?" "Yes, Your Majesty. Please come with me," replied the rabbit. The rabbit took the lion to the old well and said, "Your Majesty, that lion lives in this well." The lion looked inside the well and roared loudly. He heard another roar, which was his own echo, but he didn't realize it and thought it was the other lion's roar. He jumped into the well, and that was the end of the lion. The rabbit was able to save his own life, and all the animals were happy also to be safe. The animals learned that anyone who is unfair can be awfully strong, but one must use the strength of one's mind, as it is undefeatable.
Once upon a time, in a bright green forest, a turtle and a rabbit decided to have a race. The rabbit was very fast and felt confident he would win easily. On the other hand, the turtle was slow but determined. The race began and off went the rabbit, hopping quickly down the path. The turtle moved at his own pace, steadily making progress. Feeling overconfident, the rabbit paused to take a nap, thinking he had plenty of time. Meanwhile, the turtle kept moving, never stopping. When the rabbit woke up, he was shocked to see the turtle near the finish line. He dashed towards the end, but it was too late. The turtle crossed first and won the race. This story teaches us that slow and steady wins the race.
The Greedy Dog. Once upon a time, there was a hungry dog searching for food in the village. After wandering for a long time, he finally found a juicy piece of meat near a butcher's shop. Overjoyed, he grabbed it in his mouth and ran away to a quiet place where no one could take it from him. As he walked, he came to a small bridge over a river. When he looked down into the water, he saw his own reflection. But the silly dog thought it was another dog carrying a bigger piece of meat. Greedy and jealous, he wanted that piece too. So, he barked loudly at the other dog. But the moment he opened his mouth, the meat fell into the river with a splash and was carried away by the water. Now the poor dog had nothing left. He sat sadly on the bridge, realizing how his greed had made him lose everything. Moral: greed can make you lose what you already have. In a small, quiet village lived a poor father and his young son. Their home was humble, with little more than a worn-out mat and a wooden table, but it was filled with love. The father worked hard every day in the fields, earning just enough to put food on the table. One morning, the father noticed his son's shoes were old and torn, barely holding together. He knew his son needed a pair of proper shoes for school, but money was tight. Yet, he quietly saved every coin he could, skipping small comforts for himself. Finally, after weeks of hard work and careful saving, he bought a brand new pair of shoes for his son. When he handed them over, the boy's eyes lit up with joy. He hugged his father tightly, whispering, "Thank you, Papa. I'll take good care of them." The father smiled, his heart full. "Remember, my son," he said gently, "it's not the shoes that make a person great, but kindness, honesty, and hard work." From that day on, the boy wore his shoes with pride, but he never forgot the lesson his father had taught him. Wealth is measured not by what you own, but by the love, humility, and values you carry in your heart. The Buddha and the Homeless Man. One day, the Buddha was walking through a small village with his disciples. On the roadside sat a poor homeless man. His clothes were torn, and his face showed great sadness. When the Buddha approached, the man bowed and said, "Master, I have nothing in this world. Everyone ignores me. Why is my life so full of suffering?" The Buddha smiled gently and asked, "If you were to give something to someone, what would you give?" The man looked down and said, "I have nothing, my lord." The Buddha replied softly, "You can give a smile. You can give kindness. You can give your heart full of love. These gifts cost nothing but mean everything." The man looked up, tears in his eyes. For the first time, he smiled. He began to greet others with kindness, and soon people began to greet him back. From that day on, though he owned nothing, the homeless man felt richer than ever, for he carried peace in his heart. Moral: true wealth comes not from money or possessions, but from kindness and compassion. The Poor Farmer and His Good Son. In a quiet village, there lived a poor farmer and his young son. Every morning, before the sun even touched the fields, they worked tirelessly, their hands rough and hearts gentle. Every grain they grew, every drop of sweat was for a simple meal, but they never complained. Despite their struggles, they were known for their kindness. If a neighbor's roof leaked, they would fix it. If someone was hungry, they shared their last piece of bread. Their honesty and good hearts made everyone in the village love them. One year, a terrible drought came. Crops failed, and the villagers were desperate. Even then, the farmer and his son shared everything they had. "We must help each other," the father said, smiling through the hunger. Word of their selflessness reached a wealthy merchant traveling through the village. Touched by their generosity, he gave them seeds, tools, and enough food to last the year. With hard work and the merchant's help, their fields blossomed, and they never went hungry again. The village remembered them forever, not for their wealth, but for their kind hearts and honest deeds. Moral: true wealth is not measured by what you own, but by how much love and goodness you give to others. The Tiger and the Cow. Once upon a time, a fierce tiger roamed a forest looking for food. One day, he saw a gentle cow grazing near a river. The tiger thought, "This cow will make a perfect meal." The cow, noticing the tiger, remained calm and spoke politely. "Why do you want to eat me, mighty tiger? If you spare my life, I can help you in ways you never imagined." The tiger laughed but agreed to listen. The cow said, "There is a nearby farmer who feeds me every day. If you let me live, I can take you to a place full of food without hunting." Curious, the tiger followed the cow and found a field where the farmer left leftovers and grain. The tiger realized that sometimes kindness and clever thinking can lead to better rewards than brute strength. Moral: wisdom and kindness can save lives, even from the strongest enemy. Today we celebrate the hearts that never stop giving, our teachers. They are more than educators. They are mentors, second parents, and lifelong inspirations. A teacher's day doesn't end when the school bell rings. They stay late to prepare lessons, worry about their students' future, and celebrate every small success as if it were their own. Behind every confident student stands a teacher who once said, "You can do it." They teach not only from books, but from the heart, lessons of kindness, honesty, and hope. Even when life gets hard, teachers keep smiling, keep believing, and keep shaping the world one child at a time. To all teachers everywhere, thank you for your patience, your love, and your endless sacrifices. You may not wear a crown, but you are true heroes in the eyes of your students. Happy World Teachers Day. There was once a kind teacher named Mr. Lin, who taught in a small village school. He wasn't rich, but he gave everything he had, his time, his care, his heart, to his students. Every morning, he greeted each child with a smile, even when he hadn't eaten breakfast. He often spent his nights repairing broken school chairs, buying notebooks with his own money, and tutoring the weakest students for free. One of his students, Mina, often came to school hungry and quiet. Mr. Lin noticed. He began bringing her extra lunch every day, pretending it was too much food so she wouldn't feel embarrassed. Years passed. Mina grew up and became a teacher too, inspired by Mr. Lin's kindness. One day, she returned to the village to visit him. But the school was quiet. Mr. Lin had passed away the night before. On his desk, Mina found an old envelope with her name on it. Inside was a short note. "My dear student, if one day you teach others with love, then I will never truly die." Mina cried as she placed the letter close to her heart. From that day on, she greeted every child with the same warm smile, the same love that once changed her life. Moral: a teacher's love never ends. It lives on in the hearts of every student they touch. The Poor Boy and the Rich Girl. Once upon a time in a small town, there lived a poor boy named Ong, who worked hard every day to support his family. Despite his struggles, he always carried a kind heart and a bright smile. One day, he met May, a girl from a wealthy family. She was gentle, curious, and unlike other rich girls, she treated everyone with respect. Slowly, their friendship grew into love. But May's parents disapproved. They believed money mattered more than love. They tried to separate the two, but Ang never gave up. He continued working, saving, and proving his worth, not with riches, but with honesty and hard work. Years later, when May's father faced business troubles, it was Ang who helped him with courage and loyalty. The father finally realized that true wealth is not money, but character. In the end, May and Ang married, showing everyone that love built on trust and kindness can overcome any barrier. Moral: true love is not about wealth or status. It's about loyalty, kindness, and standing by each other through every storm. The Wise Tortoise and the Boasting Rabbit. In a peaceful forest, there lived a rabbit who always bragged about how fast he could run. "I am the fastest animal in the forest," he shouted every day. "No one can beat me." One day, a quiet tortoise said calmly, "Let's have a race." All the animals laughed. "A race? You move so slowly." But the tortoise just smiled and said, "Let's try." The race began. The rabbit sped ahead, leaving the tortoise far behind. Halfway through, the rabbit looked back and saw no sign of the tortoise. "This is too easy," he laughed. "I'll take a nap." While the rabbit slept, the tortoise kept going, slow and steady, step by step. When the rabbit woke up, he ran to the finish line, but it was too late. The tortoise was already there. All the animals cheered, and the rabbit felt ashamed. The tortoise smiled kindly and said, "Slow and steady wins the race." Moral: don't be proud or careless. Patience and determination lead to success. In the middle of the village stood an old, crumbling house. Its windows were shattered, the roof sagging, and the paint peeled, like dead skin. No one dared to go near it, not even during the day. The villagers whispered stories of the ghost that haunted it. A woman in white appeared at the top window, staring silently at anyone who passed by. At night, strange noises echoed, footsteps, doors creaking, and sometimes a chilling, hollow laugh. One evening, a curious boy named Niran decided to see the house for himself. As he stepped inside, the floorboards groaned under his feet. Shadows danced along the walls, and the air turned icy cold. Suddenly, a pale figure floated down the staircase, eyes glowing. Niran froze. "Why are you here?" a hollow voice whispered. Before he could answer, the figure vanished. Niran ran out, heart pounding, swearing never to return. From that night on, the house seemed even darker, as if feeding on the fear of those who dared to get too close. And the villagers, they still avoid the old house, leaving it to the shadows and the ghost.